morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whatever time you're watching this, and welcome to Behind the Belt, sponsored by Champs Boxing and associated with the British and Irish Boxing Authority. So today we have a very special guest, the one fight wonder himself, undefeated, 1-0. The champ is here, Mr. Lee Parks. How you doing, Lee? You all right?
Hi, Matt. Thanks for having me on your show.
Thank you for coming.
Very good with the intro.
Lee, you all right?
Yeah, well, I don't like sitting on this side of the chat, though.
No?
No. I'm sweating already. You're going to ask me.
I'm going to grill you. I'm going to proper grill you. How did you get into boxing?
Well, it's hard to say if I'm really into boxing. I'm learning so much, like, doing this. I've always been a fan of boxing, but a casual fan. So I've always watched the big events. But that's all I ever saw it as, just an event. I grew up a big wrestling fan, WWE, and we all know how fake that is and storylines and all that stuff. So I sort of saw boxing events like that. You always had your good guy, your bad guy. Obviously knew it was real where wrestling was fake, but you always had your good guy and your bad guy. Always picked one side to root for, flashing lights, nice ring walks. So I always just saw it as an event and people hitting each other with pillows, really. So when, about 4 years ago, I think I see it on Facebook, there was a show, the Ultra White Collar show for Dartford, and I thought, oh, that'd be quite a laugh. I wanted to lose a bit of weight. I think I was about 21 stone at the time, and I could feel it that I was quite overweight. So I thought, I'll give this a go, be a piece of piss, really. Just go in, hit a couple of bags, have a fight, go home, and that'd be it. Everything be fine. Boy, was I wrong. It is nothing like you see on the TV. The training is so hard. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, it's true what Tyson says. Everyone's got a plan till you get hit in the head. And I remember the first time, it was another lead at the gym. He punched me in the head and my head guard popped off. And I thought, why am I doing this? Like, what is the point? Like, I've got my wife and kids at home and I go to work every day. Do I really need to come in and get hit in the head? Like, what's the point? But I'm so glad I did it. Like, it was amazing. I think once the first 2 weeks were passed and you got it into your mind that you're going to the gym and you're going to be worked for an hour, because I vlogged it as well on my actual channel, and the first minute I weren't taking it seriously at all. I think England were playing in the Euros or World Cup, and I vlogged myself with a vodka and Coke, going, yeah, coming in, yeah, the boxing training's going really well, and laughing and sipping the vodka and Coke and stuff.
Can I just say, if I see that, I'd have fucking ginger myself.
No, exactly. Because I just thought, because of at that time, we were only doing the drills still. We hadn't actually hit each other yet. It still seemed like it was going to be a laugh in that first 2 weeks. Because the first 2 weeks, they ease you in, don't they? Like, well, you was the trainer, that's how we met. What eased in, so we was doing the drills and like the running and the planking and stuff like that, but we hadn't actually hit anyone. And I think it was like that third week when it was like right time to start hitting each other. I think that's when I realised, actually, shit, like, I better start taking this seriously. Like, this ain't a joke.
You don't play boxing.
But yeah, exactly, and that's what I wanted to do. I see all the advertisement for, yeah, you're raising money for cancer. And like I said, and they show you like the flashy lights and walking down to the ring and everyone cheering. And it makes you think, oh yeah, I've watched big lights like that on the TV, like Lennox Lewis and Nassim and all that. Yeah, I can go and play it that for a night. So that's how you get suckered in. But like I said, like, no, it's not a game at all.
No, not a game at all. So fight night come.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was that? What did you do throughout the day?
Yeah, so it was like, so I arranged to meet 2 other guys. Bill and Lee were taking us by car. So we met up, grabbed a cup of tea at a cafe on our way to We fought near Brands Hatch in the Mercury Hotel, just off by Brands Hatch, and grabbed a cup of tea, and it was all laughing and joking. Bill was ready there and then. I think like he just wanted his fight. He seemed very wired up, but I felt relaxed still because I don't know. I think when I'd watched big night shows, whenever you saw a main eventer in their dressing room throughout the night, they were having their headphones on. They seemed very chilled and relaxed. I thought in my mind, as I'm playing boxing, I thought, like, that's how I need to be throughout the day. I need to be chilled and relaxed. But I was panicking because 2 days before that, I picked up an injury. One of our classes got cancelled, so they put us in with the semi-pro group at the gym. And the trainer was like semi-pro, so we was mixing in with them. And he told us to do a press-up with our gloves on. Mm. And, like, seeing the size of me anyway, as I went down, it didn't tear, but I felt a massive pull in my shoulder. And this was 2 things before the event. And the next day, and even on the day of the fight, I just could hardly lift my shoulder. And I thought, that's it, I've got to pull out. But then I thought, I can't, I've sold these tickets. It's cancer research. Everyone's expecting me to be there and stuff. So I had to pop a load of Nurofen just to be able to lift my arm. I didn't want to do too much throughout the day because I was scared in case I overpulled that, then I'd be able to fight. So I think we got to the hotel about 1:30, and I think we was due out on parade about 4, if I remember, 4:30.
Yeah.
I think. So, they took us to the changing rooms, but it was a bit like a football team, really, which is quite a nice environment. So you had a big room and it had a wall in the middle, and you had your red group and your blue group. I was in the blue group, and they had all the vests lined up around the chairs, all with your nickname on them. Now, I thought that was quite a nice touch. It made you feel a bit important when you got there. So, like, find out where my seat was and all that. And then we took a walk down to ringside, where the ring was going to be. Had a chat with, like, the DJ and stuff like that. And then the referee came in. I can't remember his name, but I know he was an ex-pro.
I know you mean. I forgot his name.
Yeah, we got told a bit about him, and it was quite interesting to think, actually, like, being looked after by someone who's had the experience, which is quite handy to know. Because I remember you guys saying to us, like, control yourself because you're in a raised ring, the lights are on you, your adrenaline's running, you're going to lose air. Mm. I remember that's what you guys kept trying to hammer into us like 2 weeks before the event. But in the back of your mind, you're still thinking, yeah, all right, that's a load of rubbish.
Yeah, all right, shut up, Matt.
I'll get into that in a minute. So, another problem was as well, like, I suffer from high blood pressure. So, obviously, you have to have your blood pressure checked before and all that stuff once we went through all the safety rules. And my blood pressure, even though I had a letter from the doctor saying what my blood pressure was at, it was still higher than usual. So, the St John's crew were like, yeah, we're not giving you the okay to fight yet. And I was like, what do you mean? And they were like, no, like, we're not giving you the okay to fight. It's too high. Go and take yourself off for half an hour to lay down and chill out. And I admit it now, because you're probably going to hate this now as well. The only thing I didn't stop during training was smoking. I can't give up my smoking. I've tried so many times and stuff. And I think before the blood pressure check, I just had a fag. So, of course, it was going to be sky high. Like, that's one thing I couldn't. I stopped drinking. I started eating healthier. I was doing a lot more exercise. I just couldn't give up the cigarettes. And in my head, because I didn't know what it was like, I still thought it's only 9 minutes. I can get through that. Right, so anyway, done with blood pressure. Luckily, that calmed down. And they gave me the okay to fight. And I was the second fight. And I remember, I can't remember, because you backed my hands that night, but I can't remember what we spoke about. I think you just kept saying to me, like, just remember, be calm, enjoy it. I think you kept telling me to enjoy it. You said, you've done all the hard work now. This is the time for you to show off all the efforts you're putting in the gym and stuff, just enjoy yourself. Yeah. So that was quite calming. And then I remember, as I said, like, the first fight happened, and then, like, they called us down, and I walked down, and I strangely felt really calm. I don't know why. I just felt really calm. And I remember standing there and Techie, like, the head coach from the gym. You see it in the video, like, he's got his hand on my chest because I think I was eager to get in. So as soon as the music started playing, I went to walk and he stopped me and just said, breathe and enjoy it. It really annoyed me because I made it onto a CD. So there was a wrestler called Razor Ramon, and he'd done a Hall of Fame speech, and he said, hard work pays off, dreams come true, bad times don't last, but bad guys do. So I was going to have that at the beginning, then have AJ saying, welcome to the Lions Den, and the Raw, and then it was going to kick into Ceiling Can't Hold Us by Macklemore. But when we went down to during the day, they come up to me, Ryan come up to me and said, look, mate, your CD's not working in the player. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, yeah, it won't read it. So I was like, okay. I spent about 15, 20 minutes making this intro. Because I just loved the beginning saying, and then I loved like the AJ, the Welcome to the Lions Den. So they only managed to get the chorus of Macklemore from their record. So that was what I come out to. Like Ceiling Can't Hold Us, which I still think was quite a good thing to come out to, but I just wanted that beginning bit. And then that first bell rang, and I just went for it. All what you said about take your time, you're going to lose your hair and all that just went out the window. And after 20 seconds, I was knackered. Absolutely knackered, thinking. And I remember, like, I've got the video up somewhere on YouTube, but halfway through round one, I think Kevin, who I was fighting, felt the same because there's a good 10 seconds when we're both just opposite each other, just staring at each other, just breathing. We've done 20 seconds, fall out, and it was just like, I had enough now. So I managed to get through round one, walked over to my corner and all that, having a chat and all that, and I thought it was really weird because I was angry, but I weren't pumped because Kevin was such a nice guy. Like, we had a laugh at the face-off, and I couldn't get angry. Like, it's really hard to explain. My adrenaline was going, and I was all pumped up because I'm in a fight, but I just didn't have that. Like, I really want to hurt him. So, like, round one was like, I don't know, there weren't no beef between, there weren't no needle, and it's like, he spent all week working night shifts and then coming training and stuff. Like, I worked in a school during the day, and there weren't just nothing to.
Yeah.
I think because I had it in my head that there was another bloke in the gym who was more my size, and I had it in my head that's who I was fighting. Because even towards the end, they paired us up when we were sparring. And I just had it in my head that that's it. And then they announced Kevin, and I thought, oh, I didn't even thought about you. Like, so there weren't no, because they didn't. I'd like prepped myself all the 2 weeks. Like, that's who I'm fighting. I'm going to hurt him. And even when we were sparring, when he would hit me, I thought, well, okay, that's. And then when I would hit him back, and I could see that he didn't like something, I thought, well, that's what I'm going to do on the night and stuff like that. So I all had it in my head because you play matchmaking yourself, don't you? Until you know.
Yeah.
So you line everyone up in the gym, and you think, right, he's too good for me, so I know I'm not going to have him. Because that's one thing you guys did very well. You paired us very good. There weren't no mismatches, I felt, throughout the night. Yeah, I've heard at a couple of events there has been, but I'm just saying you guys were very good at not mismatching us.
Yeah.
So yeah, went into round 2, and I thought, oh, here we go. Like, still got 6 minutes of this left. Like, how long left now? Because like I said, up until that point, after round 1, you're playing boxer.
Yeah.
Everyone's, you guys are telling us, but it's a bit like when your parents tell you not to do something. You think, yeah, I'm not listening to that. And then round 1 happened, and you think, okay, actually, this is real. Like, I can't breathe, I can't lift my arms up, he's eating me. Right. And then halfway through round 2, I remember I was all over, because I know I'm not very flexible on my legs. I'm not very bouncy or anything like that, so I know I can't really duck and dive, and not being a bit too big-headed, but where I spent 20 years in the special needs field, I was getting beat up daily by young people, and where I had to use restraint and stuff, you're trained to go towards the fist to hold and stuff like that to protect yourself. So I found it very unnatural to move away from punches, and I knew I weren't very bouncy, and I've got short arms, so I had to fight. I had to be right up close to people to fight. So I knew I was going to take hits. I remember I was up in the corner with Kevin, and I was just working into his body, and then he hit me once in the chin, which made me step back. Then he hit me again, which made me step again, and then he just fall some massive punch, and it smashed me in the nose. And I never felt anything like it. It's like an electric shock going through my body. I think like I saw white for a second like that, and I just threw the mightiest hook. I just mustered all my strength. So I thought, man, you fucking hurt me there. I went angry with him up until that point, but that really hurt. So I just threw this massive hook, and it just wobbled him, and then he got counted off, and that's how. But I don't know if I was dazed from the punch, why that count was going on, because the ref sent us to the neutral corner, and I was looking out, and then the bell rang, and I thought that round had finished. I thought that was the end of the round. I didn't sort of know what was going on. I walked back over to the corner, and then like Kieran and that started taking my head guard off, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Yeah, you've won." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, they just counted him out. You've won." I was like, "What?" Like, because we got told before the fight, like if the ref feels like you're in trouble, he'll give you a mandatory 8. He'll send someone off to the neutral, give you an 8, say to you, like, "Are you ready to carry on?" And you've got to say, "Yes, I'm ready to continue." That's the only word he wanted. If you said anything different, he would just stop the fight. There were the 3 words that you had to say. So I just assumed of it. Kevin, I just thought it took him back a bit. So I just thought the ref was doing that. But like I said, I don't know if I was dazed from the punch either, because...
Yeah, but I don't think that 9 times out of 10, that's usually adrenaline. Because, like, you've got to learn how to control it. And you only had one... You've only had one fight. Do you know what I mean? Like, you when you're at the ultra white level, it's all about survival.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There is actually no boxing skill there, because everything we've taught you has gone out the window. Do you know what I mean? Like you say, like we're telling you what to do, and you're like, yeah, all right, man, shut up. Do you know what I mean? So all it is after that is just survival. So when you've knocked, or when you wobble someone, he's counting, you're like, what? Or you just don't remember it. So you're just sitting there like, what's happened? Do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, so it might have been just like the adrenaline.
Yeah, so that happened, and then got my hand raised and all that, and then went out for my blood pressure check, and they said it's normal. So we chatted about it's not been normal for 3 years. They were like, it's really strange, but your blood pressure's normal. I was thinking, bloody, I ain't got to do this all the time. It was a bit like, that Jason Statham movie where he's not allowed to let his adrenaline go down. It was sort of a bit like that. It's the first time in years that my blood pressure's actually been normal. I think, I ain't fighting every week to keep my blood pressure up. Like,
I'm fighting every week now, Lee.
So yeah, that was my introduction to boxing. I got the bug for a little bit. Like, I kept thinking, like, yeah, I'm going to do one more, and then just as the years have gone on, I just thought, I'm getting too old now, and it's not. It's fun to have that experience to say that you've done it, but it is dangerous. And I don't think people realise how dangerous it is. Like, you see these things on TV and stuff, and like I said, all leading up to the actual fight, I was playing boxing in my head, because you see the glamour side of it.
Yeah.
And then obviously stayed a casual fan. Went off to Matchroom while I was working at the school I was working at. I was running their media, and I thought, well, I need to get some guests for our media station to try and get the school's profile up. I thought I'm just going to write to everyone. So I managed to interview Darren Brown. I managed to interview a couple of guys from the EastEnders cast. Thought I'd give Matchroom a go. I was sending out like 100 emails and just see whatever stuck. Because my only brief was, because it's an education setting, my only brief was, as long as my last question was, what advice would you give to young people in whatever chosen area they were, I could have anyone on the show. It didn't matter, because we were umming and ahhing first about boxing, because we're trying to tell the kids not to be violent, but it's a sport. That is violence. But as I said, my boss said to me, as long as you ask, if you get anyone from the boxing world, as long as you ask what is your advice to young people, we can cover it as an education interview. So I said, went off to Matchroom, and their media bloke, Daniel Bernard, went back to me and said, like, Eddie was unavailable, they weren't quite happy to do some work with us. Maybe like they could sort out some boxers to come and visit the school and stuff like that. Would we like to go to the Dave Allen fight, the O2? I think Del Boy was on the card as well. I can't remember. Del Boy was the chief support. Nearly didn't fight because he wanted to be main event. But then Dave, just before COVID, I think their last show at the O2 before COVID hit.
Right.
So they said, yeah, we'll give you complimentary tickets, come down. And then I wrote back and said, okay, but would there be a chance to maybe interview Eddie? And they said, yeah, it'd be busy in that, but maybe after the press conference, you'll be able to sit down with Eddie. So I got down there at like 6 o'clock. When I got our tickets, I said all paid for by Matchroom. Walked in, you know the O2, like all the side bits.
Yeah.
Went down to the security bloke, gave him a ticket, and he went, yeah, you're down there. I was like, what? He went, yeah, you're down there, like you're down on the floor. I was like, oh, what? Sweet. Went down, and we were, so you've got your inside area with all your VIPs and all that, and then we were in the section behind that.
Mm.
So we were quite close to the rim, but it was also very close to the aisle. Conor Ben was fighting on that show as well. I think he's like the second fight on there as well. So like, and I love all that side. Like, I love events and media and that, but I like the setup and I like the music and, as I said, the flashy lights and stuff. So it's really good to be at the side because we see all the fighters come out for their entrances. So we got to see like that camera with a big ring light on, and like, we was like literally that close. And then Eddie popped out halfway through, and I managed to grab a picture with him. Got to the end of the night, and I texted that Daniel Bernard, and I was like, right, is it okay to meet Eddie now? Because, yeah, but he's got to do presses and all that. It probably ain't going to be till about 3:30 a.m. And I was with my boss, and he was like, I've got to go up early tomorrow. And the night before, we just went and interviewed DJ like an MC Neat.
Oh, touch, yeah.
But we couldn't interview them till 12:30, just before they set out Arcadia. So we literally got to Arcadia at 8, had to wait to 12:30, interviewed them, stayed for their sets. We didn't get home till 3:30 that morning, then we was up again to then go to the O2 for the weekend. So I was just like, I'm kicking myself now, but I just couldn't stay awake.
Yeah.
So I never actually got to sit down with Eddie. But I just thought 3:30 was just too long to wait. We've been there since 6.
Yeah, you've been there all night. Yeah.
We didn't. Yeah, I've never been to a proper boxing event. Didn't realise, like, you don't turn up really till 8 or 9.
No. I like going early. I do like going early. I like watching all of it. So, yeah, I'm happy to go early.
But it was crazy. Like, I remember right halfway through the night, I'm walking along, and all of a sudden, Rob Beckett walked past me. Where's the camera? But it was good to see that as well, because like anyone at a boxing event, it's not like people weren't surrounding around the celebrities were there. So I think they enjoy going as well because they can sort of just mix in. Because everyone's there to watch the fight. No one cares who you are.
Yeah.
Because it's about 2 people in the ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that happened, and then obviously as we saw a couple of episodes ago, got in touch with Queensbury. Frank gave us some of his time, so
yeah.
And then obviously we've linked up with BIBA and stuff, linked up with you. So obviously how we met was through the training, but then my wife had a stroke a couple of years ago, and my mental health dipped a bit and stuff like that. So I had an idea. I thought everyone's got a story to tell. Let's just set up a podcast. Yeah. And I remember putting the advert out on Facebook, and then you reached out to me within a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And then I remember like we done our interview, and then you was like, oh, I quite like this, so we do something together. And I just thought, yeah, boxing.
Yeah.
But I didn't realise, because I don't know a lot. Like, I watch the events and stuff, but I'm not a boxing person like you. And I didn't realise how much I would learn. And it's been fun, but it saddens me a little bit as well, because how much business boxing is.
Mate, probably on every podcast we've done, I've said this line, and I'm going to say it again. Boxing's not a sport. It's a business.
But it just saddens me how, like, the promoters and that give off the glitz and the glam of it. And, of course, they've got it. That's their event, that's their show. But how much danger the fighters put themselves in, how much out of pocket it is to themselves, because they've got to pay for everything. I know, like, your pop stars and that have to, but, like, Ed Sheeran can go and sell out the O2 for 2 weeks and earn £3 million. A boxer's got to train for 8 weeks, but then he's got to pay for his gym. He's then got to pay for his nutritionist. He's got to pay for his gear. I know they're sponsors and stuff like that. A lot of guys have to sell their tickets and stuff like that. And then you could get a couple of days before your fight and it gets cancelled, and then you're out of pocket. And then, obviously, the danger side of it, them being hit, actually realising, like, your head is not designed to get wobbled about and hit and stuff. Your brain's not designed for that. And it's sad in a way because it's for our entertainment, and I do sit down and watch it, but I'm paying to watch a fight that if someone did that on a Friday night down in the street, both them guys in the room would be in the police cell.
Yeah.
But I'm paying to watch that.
Yeah.
And I'm encouraging that. And then it sort of saddens me as well that people then who have to step away from the sport, how much, I don't know, it's hard to explain what I'm trying to say, but over the last couple of months doing this with you and learning so much off you, I've seen the really good side of boxing, but I've learned about the horrible side. And I just think people need to realise, as much as there is good, there's a lot of horrible that goes on in the sport as well. And it just needs to be fairer. You guys, you fighters are athletes. A footballer gets paid hundreds of thousands a year as an athlete. I know it's silly, but your runners and your swimmers, they probably get paid more than boxers over the years, especially in the Olympic year, with sponsorship and TV deals and stuff like that. And then I see the boxing, if you're not an AJ or a Fury, like if you're not a top five, you're not making money. Look at Archie, world title, and is he walking around with millions in the bank?
It's sad. It's sad the way the boxing world is, but it's only got to change. You know what I mean? Like it has somehow and somewhere it's got to change.
But then, like I said as well, I see the flip side because I see how close you are with your boxing pals and stuff, and how like Champs Boxing has welcomed me into the fold and stuff like that. I set up a podcast with you, and straight away they're sponsoring us. Do you know what I mean? It's like people in that world like to give people an opportunity, a chance.
Oh, hold on, son.
Okay.
Listen, I surround myself with good people. Yeah, I don't, and they're like-minded like me. Because I want to see you succeed as well as everyone else. Like, there's loads of boxing podcasts out there, and I genuinely wish them well. I hope they succeed. But some people don't like that. Some people don't want to see other people succeed. Like, not just in podcasts, but in boxing as well. You know what I mean? Like people get jealous. There's jealousy. So recently, Champs says someone's cloned a website which looks like theirs, and they're selling products at double the price, and in dollar signs. But someone's cloned their website. Jealousy. It's jealousy. Frankie is doing amazingly, and at Champs, who owns Champs, and he's one of the most best fellas I've ever met in my life. But it's all jealousy because they're seeing, some people see that and go, well, why is he doing it? I'm gonna have a go and then stop ripping people off. And then that gives Champs a bad name. Yes, like and let me tell you, Champs, Frankie ain't out there like for that at all. He don't rip anyone off. He's a great guy. His stock is from the manufacturers themselves. Like, you cannot fault that man at all. But yeah, a lot of people don't like that. People don't like watching other people succeed.
No.
And that's like some people I know, and I don't have nothing to do with them because they're like that. But I have the right like-minded people like myself watching everyone succeed, everyone have a piece of the pie, and be happy along the way.
Yeah, I think that's the way it should be. Like I said, you gave me a chance, and now we do this. I'm learning so much off you, and I hope I'm teaching you some things as well. But
yeah, mate.
It's like, no, like I said, like you gave me an opportunity to sit down and speak with you. You trusted me with your story, and out of that, we built this. Like,
yeah.
And next year's looking good for us, hopefully. Like,
yeah. So, Lee, final question.
Okay.
You're on a desert island. You had 3 boxers. Who would they be?
Right, Nazim, because I loved watching him as a kid. And I remember being a kid at the waterfront leisure centre swimming pool when they used to have that boat between the shallow end and the deep end, and always trying to do his flip in the water. You could never do it in your life, and you could always do it in the water. So yeah, so Vince Nazim Hamid. So I'm stuck between Tyson and Lewis. I think Tyson would be so interesting, like just to hear his stories of in and outside the ring. So I'm going to say Mike Tyson. And then my last one. So Tyson, Nazim. And then I'm going to say, I don't know, Del Boy. Because I've got a soft spot for Del Boy.
Why Del Boy? What would he do to help you?
I think it's because I've seen him live.
Yeah.
So I think because it's my only sort of boxing show, and I loved, like, as I said, because I'm from, like, grew up in a wrestling background, I like all that drama. So when he was throwing the tables at the press conferences, and when he held Eddie Hearn up for more money, he weren't going to fight. I like all that drama that goes on behind the scenes. Like, I'm liking, as the social media goes on, we're getting more of the backstage access, like the other week with the white glove situation. Cameron was there to see that. We're now seeing in the face of exactly what people are saying to each other. I like all that stuff. So I think that's why I've got a soft spot for Del, because I enjoyed his antics to sell the fight as much as he's a fighter. So I'll probably take him along as well. And then get the ump and call for someone to pick us up anyway. Yeah. But I ain't staying on this island. So
yeah. Oh, fair enough, mate. Well, guys, that is another episode of Behind the Bell. Lee, thank you very much for letting us in, mate.
That's all right, mate. Thanks for having me.
And make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube page. It really helps us.